episode 67?
67.
Of Chat with Gunner. And you know what? We're back to interviewing some people. We're back to getting some guests on the show. COVID's over. COVID died. You know that?
I did not know that.
Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much over. It was a long, year long. Now it's over.
As long as he agrees, we're fine.
It's okay. It's all right. Torrez Finney, my guy. What's up, dude?
What's up, Gunner? Man, I'm excited to be here, brother.
I'm excited that you're here. You're the first guest probably since COVID hit that wasn't on Zoom. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm fired up.
Well, that's an honor.
Man, so I'm scrolling through, I guess it was maybe Facebook. I'm big in MMA. I'm big in pro wrestling. I'm big in these things. So I get a bunch of notifications on my feed and scrolling through, and I see this guy who's jacked, you know, a familiar face, jacked, looking great, pounding this dude in a good way. And I'm like, who is this? And I look at the name, like, Torrez Finney. How do I know this guy? And then I click on it. I'm like, wait a minute. See the mocks. I start to catch the trail, and I'm like, all right. So I'm pretty sure I met this guy at Terrell Owens Hall of Fame induction on the floor. Pretty sure I heard somebody say my name, turned around, and I'm talking to. That's you, right?
That is
100%.
100%.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, I got to get him on the show. I'm gonna send him a message, see if he wants to come on, see if he's too big time at this point in his life. So I send the message. Man, so nice, so polite, responds right away. My type of guy. Forever mock. Torrez Finney. Thanks for coming by, bro.
Well, thank you, brother, man. Look, I'm so excited to be here. Look, you gave me an opportunity to speak, and I like to talk. So
yeah,
you know, this is not too different from like my podcast.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're still doing it on Zoom.
Cool.
We live in two different areas.
Right.
But I like this setup, like I said already.
Hey, man, if you came to this place and didn't know this was here, you would have no clue that this existed.
You would not.
Chris and Sting have done a really good job. Ethan does a fantastic job with the production and the setup and everything. So I just get up here and just act a fool. It's fun, man. It's a great time. But I want to break into it. So tell me a little bit about how you got into football, how you became a two-time state champion wrestler in the state of Georgia. Two-time, right?
That's right.
Okay, two-time. I want to hear about 3 and 4, but let's two-time. I want to hear about that, and I want to hear about the transition to Chattanooga. So just kind of walk me through you growing up in athletics.
Well, I'm just explaining it. Just basically my life.
Yeah.
Growing up, I come out of a competitive family.
Yeah.
Us Finneys, man, we're competitive. Competitive in anything.
Right.
So, I started playing football when I was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Football was always a part of my life, and I love football, man. I love football. But wrestling came into my life. Being young, as we would get into, I was a big time professional wrestler.
Yeah.
And in middle school, it was 7th grade, take it back, 7th grade. And I just got done playing football, and I'm seeing all my cousins, all my friends, they're going to basketball or baseball. They got another sport to play.
Yeah.
With me, I only had football. And I was like, well, I want to do something. I don't want to go get on the bus and go all the way back home.
Right.
You know, I didn't want to do that. So I went and tried out for basketball team. And Lord knows I cannot play no basketball. So I'll never forget when they put up the cut sheets who they cut from the practice before.
Yeah.
And I was on day 1.
Oh, man.
So that was sad. I was like, I need to do something. And I never forget, it was literally going into before we was going into fall break, there was a call on the intercom that said, anybody that wants to do wrestling, come down to a certain hall. Mm-hmm. So I sprinted down there. I was like, yeah, let me do this.
You thought that was pro wrestling.
You already know I did. When I first got in there, his name is Coach Jay Crook. He's actually coming to my upcoming fight. But he said, whoever thinks this is professional wrestling, you can leave now. And I was like, well, I might need to leave.
Yep.
But I stayed with it, man, and I started wrestling middle school, 7th grade. I did pretty good. Actually, my first year, I think I went 20-1 my first year, and I won the championship 7th grade. I only had a move called the duck under. I had that duck under. That was my go-to move.
Yeah.
I just kept doing it. And in 8th grade, I got better, went undefeated 8th grade, and won a championship again. And I was still playing football, really good football player. I was playing nose guard.
Yep.
A lot of people was like, man, he's too short to be playing nose guard.
Oh, man, you got the advantage down there.
Yeah. But people don't understand I have like long arms.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was strong and quick. So I used to get in the backfield, and I was a pretty good nose guard. Some of my high school accolades, I was like first team All-State
Yeah.
back-to-back years.
In Georgia, that's tough.
In Georgia,
What division?
5A.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah, we played some tough teams. Guys like Jake Fromm out of Houston County.
Yeah.
Northside, Warner Robins. We played all those good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it was an honor to be able to have that opportunity. But when I got into wrestling, one of like the tough things, like ninth grade, it was at a wrestling match. And I broke my ankle. I broke my ankle. And when I broke it, I never forget, doctor was like, you got to lay off wrestling a little bit. And I had to have surgery. And it was so funny. The first thing that I saw when I woke up, the first thing that was on TV when I woke up after that surgery was the Herschel Walker documentary. And it was about how he was consistently doing push-ups and sit-ups all the time, every night. So first thing I did when that happened, I rolled out of bed and I was doing push-ups. And with one leg up, doing push-ups. And ever since ninth grade, I've been consistently doing push-ups every night and every morning. I do 100 every morning, do 100 every night, 100 straight. And at one point, when I was smaller, I've gotten a little bigger since then, but it's hard. But the most I've ever done was 170 straight. Yeah. Without stopping.
That's strong, man.
But now I struggle to get to like 120, 125 sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but I can go straight. Like if I got pushed, I can go.
Yeah.
But overall, man, that would help me build up this mentality to work hard. You know, I've always been the underdog in like so many things I've done, and that's what helped me lead to my wrestling state championships. There's this guy named Aaron Gallagher. I wrestled. He was at Camden County, one of the best wrestlers in the state. Yeah, undefeated, never lost a match 2 years in a row.
This your sophomore year?
Junior
year. Okay.
Okay, I'll give you that. Sophomore year, I got 10th in the state.
Cool.
Take that back. I got 6th in the state. I got 6th in the 10th grade year. I got 6th in the state.
Gotcha.
So I placed, but I was at 170, and it was a different transition, but I was still learning a lot of different things. Yeah. And junior year, I became better as a wrestler. Wrestled with this guy named Nate Carr. His dad was an Olympian, so he came to the school, done some camps with us. Yeah.
Did his dad help out?
Not his dad, but the son did.
Gotcha.
Because the son at our school was a state champion as well.
Cool.
And he wrestled at Iowa State.
Gotcha.
So he helped us out a little bit. I got a little better with some techniques. But I ran into this guy named Aaron Gallagher my junior year. I went 40-4. And he was one of the guys that beat me. He beat me at sectionals. And he only beat me by 2 points. He was the only guy that I was the only guy he never pinned. But he beat me 11-9. And I told my coach after that, I said, if I ever wrestle him again, I know for a fact that I can beat him. I got caught up in a little bit of, more of his act. Everybody knew him. Yeah. He was like the big guy in wrestling in Georgia. And everybody knew him. I was like, and I got caught up in it a little bit. But once I started wrestling, I was like, this man's, I can beat this guy.
Yeah, just a guy.
Yeah, he's just a guy. Exactly. And lo and behold, I told my coach that, and we met in the state championship the next week. And I beat him 10-8 in overtime. So
that's awesome. That's a really cool story.
Yeah. So it was like overcoming odds.
Oh yeah.
And and I always tell people this. You tell young groups I speak to. Sometimes once you hit that point, when you overcome an odd that at first you didn't think, because I ain't gonna lie, we wrestled at Macon Coliseum. There's like thousands of people there, like a lot of people watching. You're one of the only guys wrestling. Right. And it's nerve-wracking. Yeah, man. And being there, sitting there and looking at like Aaron Gallagher and being on that stage. And I went all the way up to the top before the match, and I was like at the top of the Coliseum, and I was just crying. I was like, man, because everybody's like, all right, Finney, you better win. You got this. Yeah. All the pressure. And I'm like, gosh. Oh, yeah. But after dealing with that pressure one time and then finding a way to overcome it, I'm like, man, other things in life, like, I think Dan Gable said this quote, once you wrestle, everything else in life is easy. Right. So, it made a lot of different things easier. And then I won state the next year, 40-0, my senior year. And I went to nationals. I got ninth out of 55 wrestlers.
And that's every state, right?
Yes, every state. I lost to a guy. He was the number one ranked 195 coming out of Virginia. Okay. So he beat me. He beat me by 3 points. I almost pinned him, actually. But he was the only guy out of the entire tournament that he did not pin. He pinned everybody else in the first round.
So did you keep up with him? You're competitive. Did you keep up with
I
him?
did keep up.
Where'd
with
he
him.
go?
He went to Virginia. So coming out of Virginia, went to Virginia.
Had a pretty good career.
He did. He
Yeah.
was really good. And I sit there and think about that, and it led to some different moments. Like I had to learn because you think about college wrestling. In college wrestling, if you lose one, you got to remember you got to wrestle back.
Yeah.
I was so used to win. There's no wrestling back.
Right.
You going all the way to the championship, and so that hit me at nationals. And then when I was in the blood rounds, it's called the blood rounds. I was one match away from becoming an All-American in high school.
Yeah.
And I lost to a guy from Texas 5-2.
Yeah.
I should have lost that match, but my mind was so much, man, I should have beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no excuse. The guy was the better guy that day. So
yeah,
he beat me, and I got ninth, and that led to some opportunities, some offers in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But then we go back to football. I love football so much.
Yeah.
And every school I went to Duke, I went to North Carolina. I had like certain offers from Duke, North Carolina. All of these are partial. Citadel,
Mm-hmm.
small ones from Wisconsin. I was going to those schools, and all of them was like, well, if you do this, you can only wrestle. You can't play football. They never got me for football. Most of the big schools were for wrestling.
Right.
But it was like, if you do this, you can't play football. And I'm like, well.
Then you're getting half rise to go to a Division I school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I want to do both, And, neither school let me do both. And so I went to UTC for wrestling, getting ready for a wrestling scholarship. I was asking every coach the same question. So I asked Coach Esslinger. And Heath Esslinger,
I know. Oh, he used to come do our devotionals and FCA and like pregame speeches too. Yes. So I love Heath.
Phenomenal guy.
Great speaker.
Really.
Love what he's doing right now too with a better way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a really good guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love Coach Esslinger. And I ain't gonna lie, he's the reason why I'm at UTC. As I'm about to explain, like with him, he told me this. He was like, whatever you do, I want you to give your 100% at. So he was the only one. He was like, I'm going to help you do this. I want to give you the number to the football coach, and I'm going to let you meet him. And he said, I want you for wrestling, 100% want you for wrestling. But whatever you do, I see you still have heart in football. I'm going to give you that opportunity. And out of all the other coaches, obviously Duke, North Carolina, all those other schools, like they didn't do that.
Right.
They was more like, well, wrestling or nothing, know. And I thought about that, and I was like, man, what an opportunity. So I took up on it. That's when I met Coach Russ Huseman, head coach.
Yeah.
Talked with him. He gave me a preferred walk-on to the team. And I was with him only for my freshman year, redshirt year, because he left the next year. Then that's when Tom Arf came. And that's when he came. And I started playing. But
and you see how my mouth gets me in trouble.
I do remember that that incident at that time. Yeah, I remember that. He did change the culture. I will say that.
Yeah.
He did change it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Wright is now getting it back to the old way.
Yep.
But man, I will say that was a ride, in college football.
Yeah.
Having 3 different head coaches.
I can't imagine.
Man, like having a different coordinator every year, having a different position coach every year. I'm like, so we have like our things we got to follow. This is my philosophy. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. That's what I'm looking forward to. Wait a minute. You got another philosophy. Okay.
Yep.
Well, this is what I'm looking. So it was really hard for me to settle in college football, but I was playing fullback. At first I started off as linebacker. Arf came in. I was a starting fullback. Pretty successful. My second year at playing fullback, I got all conference, 3rd team all conference, SoCon, and that's when eventually they gave me a scholarship. Funny thing is, the moment I get the scholarship, the heavyweight for the UTC wrestling team was injured, so they needed a heavyweight. So Esslinger called me. He was like, "Finney, how about this idea? You want to come back and wrestle?" And I was like, "Man, I love that. I love wrestling."
Yeah.
So I get into heavy. I become the heavyweight. At that time, I was weighing 250.
Yeah.
And I started wrestling. I ain't gonna lie, man. That wrestling camp was brutal.
Coming from football, yeah.
Exactly. Like I haven't wrestled in 2 years, and I'm like, gosh, like I can't, man. But eventually, I was able to get in some type of shape, and I went to the Virginia duels. It's so funny how everything's in Virginia. But I went to the Virginia duels, and He pit me in against a guy from Kent State, huge human being, and I had double legged. I took him down twice, and the third time I went for a takedown, my ACL popped. And I was like, man, I ain't never felt this feeling. I kept trying to wrestle because I never knew what it was.
Yeah, real loose at the time.
Really loose. Yes, it was. And I was like, okay, it is what it is. Let me see. And when I got hurt, I literally got hurt right as they was giving me a scholarship. So it put me out a little bit. And I'm not going to lie, it was really hard for me to get back on track. Because literally, as I was trying to get back on track, we're dealing with a coaching change. So I'm recovering from an injury during a coaching change.
Yeah.
And if anybody know anything about that during college football, that's tough.
Yeah.
Especially,
unless no man's land.
Yeah. Unless you're starting quarterback, you're a top guy.
Yeah.
It's really hard to really get back in the image.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
So that's the problem. Well, that's cool, man. That's really cool. That's a long story. We had similar paths. I was really hoping he was going to tell me that you got to Virginia, you became the heavyweight, and you wrestled that guy that beat you at nationals, and then you beat him. I was really hoping that'd have been a great story.
That would have been an awesome story.
I thought that's where you were going with this.
Hey, that would have been lit. I ain't
yeah,
gonna lie.
that'd have been cool. Just change the story to that later on.
I'm gonna start doing
that'll go for good.
That'll sell more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all we do here at Pro Wrestling. We just tell stories to sell. Yeah. So, Tom Arth, probably one of my top 5 coaches of all time in the history of football.
One of your
top 5 coaches of all time, Tom Arth. I think he's really great. I think he's going to be very successful in everything that he does.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Nice.
I'm really kidding.
Really good at selling then, I see.
Yeah, really kidding. Not a fan of that guy whatsoever. I think me and him actually had words as soon as I talked to you.
Really?
Because everything had happened. Like I said a couple things on Twitter, which were true. And then he banned me from the weight room.
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember this?
I do.
I didn't even know I was banned because I wasn't even coming at the time.
You wasn't coming.
I didn't even have time to be down there. Like I might come, once every couple months just to kind of see some people. Other than that, and get a lift in with like Sinjin, maybe.
Yes,
about it. And then I reached out to Sinjin one day. I was like, hey, bro, you want to go down to the weight room, see everybody, and catch up with Ron Dixon at the time.
Ron Dixon.
He was there. So Ron called Sinjin. And then he's like, hey, man, you got to tell Gunner. I'm not telling him. You got to tell him that he's banned from the weight room. So Sinjin calls me. He's like, hey, man, we can't go to the weight room today. I was like, why can't we go to the weight room? They're not open? He goes, no, they're there. I was like, well, is Ron there? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, why can't we go to the weight room? He was like, well, because you may or may not be banned from the weight room. And I was like, they're going to ban me from the only building I actually care about at that place?
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, man. So then I really got hot with it. And then, so I said a bunch of things that were really mean. And then I talked to you, the long-ass TO conversation. Then I talked to you, and then I was walking out, and Tom Arth walks out of the stands. He's like, hey, man, let me talk to you for a second. I was like, cool, what's up? And he goes, so I think we got off to, a rough start. And I was like, yeah, you got off to a rough start. And he's like, well, I just want to kind of crush everything, put everything behind us. I want to put my hand out, shake your hand, and let you know that you can come around, be around the guys, talk to the guys, be at everything that we do. We want you around. And I was like, first of all, you're full of shit. You don't want me around. I get it. It's cool. You don't want me saying things that I'm saying. You don't have to act like we're friends or that I'm your student or your player, and I'm not going to respect you as if I am. So we're two men talking to each other. Yeah. And I ain't got time for this shit. And I just walked away.
Wow.
So, but yeah, that guy was not a fan. Like I just didn't. I don't know. I'm a big Huseman guy.
Yeah.
I was a big Scott Brinks guy.
I love Brinks.
So he was there when you were there at the very beginning? Okay.
Freshman year, Power Hour.
Yeah, man. Dude. And then I guess Arth came. That's what pissed me off. Arth came in and kind of got away from the physicalness of football. He brought the NFL aspect in. And you can't do that in college. Not at our level. You have to grind.
It was more of an NFL type. It was more NFL based.
Yeah.
And the way he was running it, it was more of like, okay, we had meetings. Okay, let's think of camp. Like Coach Wright says, I don't like to have meetings unless we need to have a meeting.
Yes.
And we were doing 3 meetings a day. Meeting in the morning, meeting in the midday, and meetings at night. So camp was forever. Like, bro, camp was so long, man. Like, we still talk about, a lot of us players still talk about it to this day. Camp through Coach Arth is like, it's hell. It's tough,
Mentally.
man. Yeah. It's tough mentally and physically. Like, if you get through that, you're like, man. And then the practices are so long. Like, I remember Coach Huseman practice.
Yeah.
Like, you probably out there an hour and a half or 2 hours.
23 to 25 periods.
Yes.
And you're out.
Gosh.
And after the first of the season, no more conditioning.
No more. Exactly. You condition through practice.
Yes.
And man, it just used to be so much. We used to have like a 30-minute walkthrough period before practice, and then like these good on goods, and then practice, and then the 24, 25 periods of practice,
Yeah.
and then more either good on good or against the scout team.
Yeah.
It used to be so long, man, and
Yeah.
practice, it used to be too long, man, and we remember that.
And then study hall.
And then stuff.
And then the treatment in training room. And then the weight room. And then class.
If you're getting out of practice and you don't have 30 minutes left till you get to study hall,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. Oh, go eat.
Or go eat.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you remember Crossroads, that closes at what, 8 or 9?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
By the time you get out of practice, you only got 30 minutes to eat.
30
You
minutes
got
to eat.
what, study halls at 8:30 or
And
9 or whatever it is.
not throwing the incentives of, I got to shower or I got to go grab it.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then you got all the kids on campus, the civilians, I'd call them, on
Yeah.
campus. That would be like, man, y'all get all this food. Y'all get to do excuse me? No. They pay for like none of this.
Yeah.
Hardly. I mean, you get a little bit, but like 15 meals for a college athlete is 3 days.
That is.
Maybe.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's when,
nothing.
like, dude, I was losing weight so fast because I was trying to stay like around 230-ish. That's where I like wanted to be. It was so hard, man,
It
to stay
is.
around 230 in college. All
It
that
is.
running and all the lifting and walking to class, and then just staying up all the time, not getting a lot of sleep, and then barely getting any nutrition.
It's right. You're
You know?
right.
So,
It's hard.
it's tough,
to,
man.
It's hard to like keep on weight.
Yeah.
Because when I was playing fullback, I was like, okay. Well, after I tore my ACL, the doctor was like, okay, you put on a lot of weight at a very fast pace. Because I ain't gonna lie, like when I first got into college, I was around like 215.
Okay.
And then, like I said, going into sophomore year at college, I was like 250.
Yeah.
So,
That's funny. That's about how I did it.
man, I'm like, okay. And it wasn't the freshman 15. It was
It was good.
it was thick, and I felt good. I was able to move, but I felt sluggish.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, the next year I'm gonna play at like 230, 225. And then that's when I became all SoCon. Like
Yeah.
I was able to move. I was still strong,
Mhm.
still one of the stronger guys on the team. But I was still able to do a lot of things. And
Yeah.
so I was like, if I'm at a solid weight where I can move, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
So
See, with me, I came in at about 210, roughly, and then I redshirted. Then my freshman year of actually playing, I probably got up to like, let's see, maybe like 220-ish, roughly. And then J.D. Dothard, he came in. He was playing weak side linebacker. He high ankle sprain before we played Western Carolina. So this is like the 4th game of the season. And they were like, I'm going to go in. It was either me go in or Wes go in at the time. So I go in and somehow or another ball out like 9 tackles, couple tackles for loss, couple sacks,
Yes, sir.
defensive player of the game, and started every game after that. I was like, I don't know how the hell that happened, but here we go.
Let's go,
But
baby.
here we go.
yeah.
So then I hurt my neck about 5 games later, and my arm just stopped working. I don't know if you've heard these stories. So like,
I've heard this.
okay, so you know what a stinger is?
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
know.
you got them.
Yeah.
So I kept getting these stingers. Like it started in camp, and then literally almost every hit, I was getting a stinger. So I would just shake it off, relax, maybe take a play off, just kind of hang out, not try to get caught up in a block or something.
You're
I wouldn't
right.
want to come off the field, but I'd get caught up in a block, and then it just wouldn't come back. So 2 plays later, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go off to the sideline because I can't. And here's how I got it: I missed an easy tackle for loss on a sweep against Elon, and got back up pissed and hit the pile late. So 7 people were already on him. I shouldn't even hit him. I just hit the pile late, got a stinger, arm went away. So I come off the field, and I'm like, man, my arm will not come back. So I take my helmet off, and they start doing the test on me, like raise your arm. So I can raise this arm, can't raise this one at all. Like literally can't get it off my side.
Jeez.
So I'm like, all right, that's weird. So we go in for halftime. They give me 2 like some type of steroid, like cortisone type shots or whatever it is in my ass. Go back out, still nothing. So in the 4th quarter, they take my pads off of me, and they just say, hey, you're out for the game. We'll check you out next week. So that night, arm doesn't come back. Wake up next morning, my arm's still dead. Arm
Whoa.
doesn't work. Like completely doesn't work. So we start going to specialists, and we start doing MRIs on my shoulders. We start doing X-rays on my shoulders. We start doing CAT scans on my shoulders, on my neck, everything. And then they're like, we don't know what the problem is. Are you faking? Like, that's what Coach Huseman asked me. Are you faking? There's no injury with you. No bone, no muscle, no nothing. There's no injury. I was like, well, I'm not faking. I would love to pick this arm up right now. Yeah. I can't pick this arm up. So about a month goes by, and my arm is shrinking at this point. It's atrophying. It does not work whatsoever.
Whoa.
And now I start going to specialists, and we go to this spine specialist on gun barrel, and they do this test with me where they put all these electrodes in my arm, and then they hit them or like ping them or pulsate them or something. And if the machine makes a sound, it means that my nerve is reacting. But if it's not making a sound, it means that my nerve is not reacting. So the nerves that run through my C5 and C6 vertebrae were disconnected, not working anymore. And that's what works like your deltoids and your bicep and your forearm. So like, as long as you put me up, I could grab something. Like I could grab onto my steering wheel and I could start to drive. But if I turned too far left, my arm would fall off the steering wheel. Jeez. I could put my hand on my head to wash my hair, but if I accidentally got too far over, it would fall off. So my arm I lost 20 pounds at that point because I couldn't really do anything, and my arm just went away. All right, so now I'm back down below 200. So, as a guy, when you get 200, that's like a milestone.
That's a milestone. That is.
205 is a milestone, right?
It is.
That's like I'm jacked now in high school, 205.
Yeah.
All right. But then I went back down to 195 for like the first time in forever. So I was freaking out at this time. So I'm like, all right, I don't care if I have an arm or not. I'm working out. I'm going to start working out. So I started squatting and just squatting. And so what I'd do is I'd put my arm up on the bar.
Like that?
Hold the bar. And then I'd grab it on this side and I would just squat. So you could literally ask Coach Brinks. I would squat every day, 7 days a week, as heavy as I could possibly go.
Whoa.
For a whole off season. So my squat probably went, at that time, I was probably squatting like, I don't know, 4-ish. Like skyrocket to, we're right around 600 at this point, like going into the next season. So then they find out that, hey, your nerves are stretched. So that's the problem. It's a stretched nerve. It's going to come back 1 millimeter at a time. Every millimeter is like a week away or something like that. Something along those lines. So anyways, go through spring, arm still doesn't work through spring practice. Middle of spring practice, my arm comes back overnight.
Really?
Like I woke up and my arm worked.
And I bet you was like, whoa.
I was like, uh-oh. So then we started doing treatment on it. Now we started working the arm out. So I hit it hard that summer, came back. They put me in a neck roll, like a legit old school Bobby Boucher neck roll.
I've seen that.
And I had to play, and we played Nebraska first game of the season that year. Mm-hmm. So I went from being like, 215, 220 to I played at Nebraska at 240. The heaviest I ever played a game, and felt strong, felt great, everything. Made it that whole season. Sucked. Here's why. I couldn't move. I couldn't get in my stance. I couldn't bend my knees and look to the left or the right. And as a linebacker, as a weak side linebacker, damn near a safety, I need to be able to see some people.
That's right.
So the next year I was like, I'm not doing it. Give me a cowboy collar or something. I'll do a cowboy collar. I made it 7 games. Same thing happened to this arm. This arm shut off. 2 weeks though. Only 2 weeks. Okay, so that season was over. So then we go into the next season. And they like give me this like little wedge thing that goes in between my shoulder pads. Like some linebacker from Penn State invented it. It's like a wedge that goes in between your shoulder pads, and it's like supposed to keep your neck from compressing and getting the stingers or whatever it might be. So I'm like, okay, we'll use that. They used me as a case study. They did a scientific journal case study on me and everything. It was weird. So then we do this, and we go to some specialists that year, and they go, so when was the first time you broke your neck? And my trainer, who was new at the time, we went from Todd, he probably wasn't there when he was there, to Dave. Dave was there.
Dave.
So yeah, Dave came in, became my trainer. So they go, so when was the first time you broke your neck? And Dave goes, what are you talking about? It's like the first time he broke his neck, when did that happen? And Dave goes, he never broke his neck. And I go, oh, no, he did. So right here near the C5, C6, that crack right there, that's from where it's healed. That's what we call like a hairline fracture in a C5, C6. That's why it probably shut off the first time. This other little crack right here, right beside it, is just kind of coming off of that crack, and that's what's compressing that nerve. So he'll be fine here in a few weeks.
So you broke your neck and didn't even know it.
Twice. So check this out. Yeah. Oh yeah, bro.
Man.
That's hilarious. So now they're like all over me. Like, please don't sue us. Like almost, they're not saying that, but that's the message. And I never would whatsoever. So we go into the next season. Dave goes, you have to have something. Do you want to play? It was like one of those things. And I was not going to. And then I was like, I'm going to play. I can't not play football. It's ridiculous. So we go into camp that year. I drop weight. I get down to like 220. I'm like, I'm going to be faster, move up and get out of the way. I'm just going to be smart with this.
Yeah.
Made it 7 games. Literally, bro, every game I was in serious pain. 7th game, App State, 4th and like 1 on the goal line, tackle for loss, hit the QB. First time ever in my career, I'm on the ground face planted. Both arms don't work. Can't pick myself up. Doesn't hurt, just don't work.
You just don't work. Can't do it.
Come off the sideline. Coach Usman looks at me. He goes, thank you. You're done. That was it. That was my last play.
Wow.
Now, I knew all this. I knew I had a WWE tryout going into the season, so I was already like into wrestling.
In wrestling already.
Yeah. So, but I had a tryout coming up in December, and this happened.
I knew about that.
Yeah, and this happened in October. So I had to call them and be like, hey, I just had a little small injury, and I'm not going to be able to make it. So can we push it back? And I was like, yeah, can you do June? I said, yeah, June's perfect. Okay. So I start training. I do spinal decompression. They lay you on a table. This is hydraulic machine, and it pulls your neck apart. And then they put like ice and stuff on it at that time, and ice and stem to just get blood flow in there. 100% healed after a month, every day, or 5 days a week. Going down to Dayton to Dr. John. Oh, did y'all go to him?
Not
in Red
Dr.
Bank. John Smith.
Why does that name sound familiar? But we do a lot of guys at Erlanger. That's why I have my surgeries at Erlanger.
John Smith was most likely on the sidelines at some point. He'd usually have like a bow tie and had white hair. So anyway, smaller guy. Anyways, so they did it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a big booster, and he's just involved.
I know
he's always with Bubba Trundle, the dentist.
Him.
Yeah. So we do that, and literally it heals me. So then I start hitting training hard. I get some the guy that trained me in wrestling, Ace Rockwell, is good buddies with Dash Wilder, who at the time he had another name that he was wrestling under, but he used to come from out of Anarchy in Cornelia, Georgia, which is where I started wrestling. Anyways, he told me exactly what the tryout was. So now I'm prepping for the tryout like it's the NFL Combine with all the guys that are about to go to the NFL. I'm just training with them, but I'm going wrestling. Yeah. So go do it. Get there the first day, and they go, let's do a physical on you. They check my neck out. They find out immediately what I know. So then they had to get in touch with my doctor to send my x-rays over to clear me. So that took a day. So I missed the first day of tryouts, crushed the second and third day, and just never panned out from there. I swear it's over my neck. But anyways.
Yeah.
Things happen, bro.
Yeah, things like that happen.
Things happen.
Man.
But now you're in MMA.
Yeah.
And how did so I knew, like when I was transitioning, I knew I'm whatever chance I might have had, I'm giving it up. I'm going wrestling. So at what point did you say I'm going MMA?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. COVID for some people were bad, but COVID for me was this is why I'm the champion. And I look at COVID like, okay, let me start off first. January, actually go back. Let me go back to October. This is when Wright was coming in.
When did you graduate?
Last year of 2020, December of 2020.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
okay,
that's
go
when
ahead.
I graduated.
All right, cool.
So I just graduated not too long ago. So when Wright was coming in the spring of 19, sadly I tore my ACL again.
Jeez, man.
I know. I toured on a play. I was pass protecting. I was at like a heavy H.
Yeah.
I was pass protecting, and it wasn't even on contact. I just stepped the wrong way, and I tore my ACL. It's so sad.
Same one?
No, the other one. They had already said you tear one, more than likely you're going to tear the other. So that's exactly what happened. The more than likely actually happened.
Yeah.
So I tore my other ACL and go through that transition is once again hoping to get cleared to play in the football season.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't clear me. Doctor wouldn't clear me. I had torn my ACL and meniscus this time.
Yeah.
So it made the stint a little bit longer. But, like I said, it like slowly, They was forgetting about me.
Yeah.
And that's when I tried to make the transition to defensive line.
Okay.
I did play nose guard a little bit during the Coach Wright era.
Okay.
So I was making that transition, and I'm like, these guys won't clear me.
Right.
So it would be during the weekends. One of my friends, his name was Andrew Hill. So he was going to Red Bank Boxing.
Okay.
It's Red Bank Boxing Gym. And I was like, Andrew, like, it's Thursday, team left. Let me come with you. He's like, all right, come on. So he brought me, that's before I had a car, but he brought me, took me to Red Bank, and I got into boxing. I got into boxing, and I started boxing, and I was like, okay, I like this. You know, you take and I always tell people, you think like getting punched in the face is bad. It's actually not. Depending on you, that's when you know if you're okay to fight. If you can get punched in the face and you be like, okay, let's go. Like, I don't get happy getting punched in the face, but I'm like, I get smacked. I'm like, man, let's go. Like,
it makes you not want to get punched in the face again and go punch them in the face.
Go punch somebody else. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And I don't get all bent out of shape about it. I mean, okay, boom, you get punched in the face. Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, after that, a few practices in boxing, it's like, okay, I like this, man. I'm ready to do this.
Yeah.
And literally, 3 months later, I wanted to do a fight. Now, I originally had a fight against a guy. He was like 28 years old. And, you know, I was still in college, you know. And I didn't tell none of the coaches none of this at first. But
I was training pro wrestling while I was at UTC. Didn't tell nobody.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to a story on that as well. See, that's funny. But I was boxing, and I had a boxing matchup come up. Guy pulled out. He said, well, that guy's on steroids. I'm not doing it. I'm like, I play college football. I can't be.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no, he's on steroids. I'm not doing it. So I'm like, well, freak. But there was only one guy today that was available. He had 3 years of experience of boxing. And I only had 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, he's 6'1". You can box him. I mean, you got to go for the shot. I'm not going to lie. I was weighing around like 230, 235-ish. I was heavy. I was out of shape. I wasn't in boxing shape. I tried to.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
Yeah.
The guy had all the experience, and it is on YouTube, sadly, but that was one of the worst things I ever done. But I actually won the first round, but I lost round 2 and 3.
Gotcha.
And his boxing just pieced me apart. He won by decision. But the thing is, when that type of stuff happened, it's so funny. People's like, Finney, you shouldn't box anymore. That is not for you. You shouldn't do it anymore. I'm like, I don't think y'all understand. This is the icebreaker.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want to do now. Like, me losing. See, when people lose, especially on this like stand, like you do MMA, boxing.
Yeah.
You train for multiple months, only get one shot. Like, for instance, I've been in an 8-week fight camp. 8 weeks to fight 9 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and you only get one shot at it. So if you don't come out on the end, people are like, you shouldn't do this. Just because of one time. That's how it was for boxing. Everybody kept trying to tell me that you shouldn't fight anymore. It's not for you. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. But that's how I always was when I was growing up. You shouldn't keep wrestling. You shouldn't keep trying to play defensive line. It's not going to work. You're too small. You're too this. I've always had to hear those type of doubts. And that type of stuff, when you start telling me stuff that I can't do, that actually pushes me on to actually go and try to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Or more than likely prove myself right. So throughout the year, I waited. A few friends at the boxing gym was like, you should come to this MMA gym. Well, take it back. Jiu-jitsu gym. It's called Agogi. That's where I train at now. And it's like,
where's that at?
It's actually in Rossville, Georgia.
Okay.
5500 Drive. You know, we're growing. We're big, man. Now at first they only had like 3 or 4 MMA fighters. Now we got 20.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're growing big time. We actually just went this past weekend. We went 4-0. So we got 9 guys fighting on this upcoming card on Saturday.
Sweet, man. So
it's gonna be exciting to see here in chat. But I went to the gym, did some jiu-jitsu. I was like, man, it's very similar to wrestling. I like this. You know, I want to keep doing this. And I met my striking coach. His name is Larry Scott. So I met Coach Larry, and Larry, man, you talk about a motivational man. Like, this guy truly motivates me, like, in fighting. And I was like, I got to be a part of this.
Right.
And it's so funny. Like, he helped me with my striking. Coach Sterling Peace, He's the jiu-jitsu coach, black belt. Matt Harris,
Mhm.
black belt. Stacy Meeks, black belt. It's rare that you have a gym that has 4 black belts,
Yes.
but these are like legit. Like they have accolades behind them. Like
If they got good black belts, because there's a whole racket in the black belt game.
yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And literally, like our school, we see it. Like we see guys that say, okay, they'll have the name, oh, I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. And we face them where they'll come by the gym, be like, bro, you're not even a white belt on our level.
Yeah.
You know, or
Right.
you're not even a blue belt on our level. So
Yeah.
you see it and you hear it. So we really have some top-notch jiu-jitsu within the area, really in the Southeast, I truly believe.
Right.
But it helped me get my game up so good. And October 3rd was my first fight.
Mhm.
And it's so funny. I had a football scrimmage that same day.
Okay.
So I was playing defensive line, and actually I worked my way back up, getting back in the rotation of things. I was a second string defensive nose guard. And I played 71 plays that day.
Mhm.
And then Coach Wright was a little mad about how we finished practice. So we ran 12 100-yard sprints.
There you go.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have an MMA fight. And it's so funny, my teammates, because they knew I was fighting, but the coaches didn't know. And my teammates were like, Finney, are you good? Like, as we run in sprints, I'm like, we all breathing. Hey, Finney, you think you're going to be good for tonight? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Oh, it's so funny. And I had to shower, run, drive all the way to
Was it Knoxville?
well, actually, yes, the fight was in Knoxville, but I had to get to the gym. My coach was going to drive me. I said, Coach, you have to drive me to Knoxville because I'm going to sleep in your car.
Yeah.
So we get there, get in the locker room. It's so funny. I'm like, and I was back there warming up, but I felt a little sluggish. I was like, man, this fight goes the distance. I don't know if I'll be able to make it past the second.
Right.
You know? So it's so funny. And I had this intention in my mind, like, you got to strike first. You got to at least try to get it to the ground or finish this fight early.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, you know, my first ever fight, I knock him out in 11 seconds. So, you know.
Easy money.
Yeah. So I didn't have to.
Check me out. I watched a couple of your fights. Well, you only have a couple, but I watched a couple of your fights today.
Mhm.
And so is that the one you hit him, he kind of falls, and the ref stops it early?
He stops it early.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're confused?
I am confused because he went face first. And when he went face first, all right, when you fall, let's say if he got hit and, you know, he tripped or something, you know, get on your knees, he'll get up a little quick. The way when I hit him with the right hook, he literally went like this. And
It's like a flash knockout.
Like a flash knockout. And so referee's mind, also an amateur, and this is in any amateur, anytime a referee sees that, the only time he might be cautious of stopping a fight fast is in a title fight.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime he sees that in just amateur, just pure and straight up amateur fight, they're going to stop it faster than they would a pro fight.
Gotcha.
Pro fight, yes, that fight would have been continuing.
Gotcha.
Amateur fight, no. That fight would have, he stopped it. And as we talked, was like, okay, I think we stopped that a little early. He was like, yeah, I know. And some people getting on him, but it's so funny. Like, I fought Antonio. Two of my other teammates have fought Antonio as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they both knocked him out as well. So
Gotcha.
and they were clean knockouts. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And I'm not saying that, okay, that's for a fact what would have happened. But, you know, you can't, I still would have beat him.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact.
I feel you.
It wouldn't been too much longer because I was going to get on his back, either choke him out or ground and pound.
Right.
Because my wrestling is still my go-to.
Yeah.
And man, and ever since that moment, I've been trying to get a lot of fights, but a lot of guys keep pulling out on me. They don't want to fight me early on. So I get the promoter named Tim Loy for Valor. He was like, Finney, this guy named Tristan Scarborough, 205. He's undefeated, 3 wins, 3 knockouts, and he needs an opponent. And I'm like, well, I want to have one more fight before I fight for a title.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I can't get nobody else to fight you. You're just going to get inserted in a title fight. And I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know? And I get into, it's February, and mainly all of my training, mainly for MMA, came through the COVID period because we wasn't in football. We wasn't, I ain't gonna lie. They was telling us, okay, you got to stay home, wear your mask, do this, do that. Yeah. But I wasn't.
Right.
I was going to the MMA gym to Agogi every single day. I would go in at noon, do jiu-jitsu, and do striking at night at 7. I was doing that every day. So when most people were at home, supposed to be, you know, not trying to get around a lot of people, I was around a lot of people. Now, I didn't catch COVID. I had COVID. I did. I caught it. I had it when I went to spring break.
Yeah.
When they cancel all the schools. When they cancel all the schools while we was on spring break, it was like, okay, nobody come at the UTC. There's a sickness. Da da da.
Yeah.
I caught it while we was down there partying and having fun.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, man, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But that's the only time I had it, and I lost my taste, coughed a little bit, but it was gone within 3 days. After that, I was fine.
Yeah.
So, but most of my training came through that time period. And Tristan Scarborough, he had the experience. He was good. But I went into that fight, it's like, hey, I utilized my wrestling.
You slammed this dude so hard. And when I mean so hard, bro, so hard. Like, I mean, you can ask Ethan. Like, I am gambling and I am watching every UFC that comes on, most of the Bellators, and damn near every PFL. I'm diehard MMA fan. I love MMA.
Awesome.
Because when all the sports went away, that's what kept sports going.
Only thing on.
People can say whatever they want to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept sports going.
Yes,
and I became a super fan.
Big shout out to Dana White.
Big shout out to Dana White, man. I became I'm a Joe Rogan fan anyways. Like, I love Joe Rogan's podcast. That's the reason. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan podcast, right?
Go.
Yeah. So, but dude, the UFC saved everybody during that time.
Yes,
they did it the right way.
Yep.
They put in place the procedure of how to run an event during COVID. If this ever was to happen again, how do you do it? Blueprint, Dana White, UFC. That's how you do it.
Dana White was like, my show is not about to fall because of and obviously he wanted to keep people safe.
Yeah.
But he made sure the fighters were safe, everyone else was safe. He was like, but we can keep the show going.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, and also you got to throw in the fact too now, WWE
and AEW.
And AEW.
Yep.
That's right. They still found ways to continue their shows.
They did.
So, they all had the blueprint. It's so funny. NBA canceling.
The bubble.
Bubble. Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
Can't even go leave the bubble. Lou Williams went to go get some chicken wings. He's in trouble. He got to miss 3, 4, 5 games.
Can't be DMing your girls and bringing them in from California at the bubble. Can't be doing that. The wives don't like that, right?
No. So it's funny, man.
Yeah, but you slam dude so hard. And what I really like, and I think that it's not my favorite style, and I'm not trying to bash you. Not my favorite
I already know what
style
you're about to bring up.
because of the action. But it is the most effective style if you want to go become a champion.
Yep.
And that is utilizing your wrestling, right? But you did it so well. So, like, you would throw this overhand, like, looping right, and you're already, like, going down into your double leg. And you just pick homeboy. You stuck him and picked him up and slammed him. And then I believe it was ground and pound from there on out, right? Yeah. Did you finish him?
I did.
Yeah,
Finish him in the third round.
Yeah, I knew that answer.
I only took 3 leg kicks.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully this weekend I don't get hit either. But out of my last 2 fights, I've yet to be hit.
Yeah.
So, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been hit in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, we have hard sparring days. I compare it a lot to football. Sometimes, obviously the quarterback isn't live.
Yeah.
But you got to have a day where the quarterback is live to get that feel of, okay, I'm throwing while I'm being hit. Same thing with MMA.
Yeah.
You got to have those days. Okay, me and you were going at it. We're going all the way.
Yeah.
Now if I stun you and rock you,
I'm gonna finish you.
I'm not gonna finish you.
Yep.
No. But you're going to feel it. We're going to go at it. We're going to hit each other. So I've had those days. I've been hit. We got like 4 or 5 pros. We got 4 pros, take it back. We got 4 pros in the gym. So I've been hit. I've trained at America Top Team in Atlanta.
Yeah. How's that?
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
And some of the Lima brothers and
okay.
a guy named Trayshawn Gore.
Yeah.
Trayshawn Gore will be on the next upcoming Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
So I was with him, sparred with him. Went down to my hometown, Macon, Georgia. A guy named Amun Cosme, he's a pro. Lindsey Jones, he's a pro. Cole Miller fought in the UFC. He's a pro. Got some work in with those guys. They helped my game so much.
Yeah.
So when I was ready to fight Scarborough, I was okay to fight it on the feet or on the ground.
Yeah.
My jiu-jitsu got so much better. And man, Agogi has really helped me out. They really excel in my MMA career. This fight is big for me upcoming because I'm getting a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are calling me, asking me for this, and this. I'm not gonna lie. Some people want me to turn pro now. I have to say you get more opportunities turning pro. But the only reason why I don't want to turn pro yet is because I want to be ready.
Yeah.
I don't. Now, could I beat some of the lower level pro guys right now?
Sure.
Absolutely. I could beat a lot of them.
Yeah.
But that's not the goal.
Yeah.
That's not the end goal. No, end goal isn't to fight a lot of the lower level pros. Because in all honesty, after I get my first 1 or 2 pro fights, the same way it is right now, amateur. I'm not gonna find anybody to fight, and the only ones actually in pro that is gonna fight me will be top notch guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be ready for that.
Yeah.
You know, because going into it, single hand like a guy, I mean, it's gonna get to a point. I'm not gonna be going against blue belts and white belts in the MMA fight.
Yeah.
I'm going against brown and blacks. I
Yeah.
gotta be ready for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Brown and black belts in taekwondo, karate, jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
golden glove boxers. I gotta be ready for that. You
Mhm.
know, and I believe my wrestling is up to par with anybody right now.
Yeah.
But I want to have my striking there. So that's been one of the main things, you know, not turning pro yet too early. But as an amateur, I'm having a really decent amateur career.
Yep.
Trying to keep it going on this weekend. Also have another fight being planned in July.
Okay.
So we're doing some things. And if anybody don't know, like when I turn pro, I'm going to drop to 185.
Okay.
Reason why 205 would be too big. Like how much you weigh right now?
I'm 240.
240. I'll be fighting you at
Yeah.
205.
Right. Yeah.
Guys at 205 cut from 240.
Yeah.
Cut from 230.
Yeah.
They like I don't know, you know Jan Blachowicz?
Oh yeah. The Polish power.
The Polish power. Yeah, he cuts from 230,
Yeah.
240. So,
Yeah, so does John. So
John.
all those guys do that. And look
Exactly.
at John 6'4". John 6'3". You know,
Imagine
Dominique 6'2", 6'3". And that's a similar career path. You know, you and Dominic Reyes. Very similar. Football, yeah.
That's right.
It's just being very athletic and explosive. You can use that. You know who you remind me of and how I'd love to see you fight? Literally just based off of almost like looks and size. Who is it? At 205.
205.
Or 185, but 205 the last fight.
205.
So DC trained him. DC trains him.
Darren Wynn?
Darren Wynn.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying that. They keep
You know why?
comparing me.
5'8", 205.
505. Yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
why.
That would be
Wrestling background,
yeah.
maybe
would be
sketchy
the
on the hands.
Yeah,
You know, but
yeah.
that's him. And he's doing the same thing. He just kind of turned pro a little bit early.
Yeah,
you know?
He did. You know, and him helping with DC helping him out. I mean, I think he should just go in and cut. He don't.
I do
want-
too.
He don't want.
He don't want to put that work in. Yeah.
Same thing with Kevin Gastelum. Gastelum is. There's no reason. I mean, Gastelum is a good 85er. You know, he make good fights here and there.
Yeah.
Just drop to 70, bro.
And have that power there. And guess what? The guys at 70 aren't going to be that tall, so you don't have to reach for them.
Exactly. And, you know, now obviously you got Israel at 85. You know, you're going to have your outliers,
Yeah.
obviously. But mostly at 85, I can be really 6 foot. I'm fine.
Yes.
You know, my arm reach I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the 6'4", 6'5", yeah, that's when things start changing. But,
Right.
you know, that's a different game plan.
Yeah.
But, you know, anybody 6 foot, 6'1", like I'm fine. And that would be much more of my style at 85 anyway.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, get in better shape. Cardio is going to be better. Like middleweight to me is like the most even out. Like you have top tier cardio, top tier strength, like power. It's all mixed in one.
Yep.
You know, you can say the same at 170.
Yeah.
But 85 is like that man weight class.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like gosh, you know, and it's tough.
Bro, what? Paulo Costa? Get
Paulo
out of
Costa.
here. Get out of here.
He cuts from 240 to 185.
Next day, he's 220.
Exactly.
Get outta here.
Exactly.
And that dude is a machine.
He's a machine.
Now, I know
man.
Izzy threw him out or whatever, but like, I don't know. I'd like to see him fight again.
I'll tell you one thing: Paulo Costa did not go in that fight the way he should have.
Yeah.
He was too cocky. Mind is not in the right place.
Yeah.
He didn't fight. That
And you
fight
can't stay on the outside against Izzy.
Uh,
What are you trying to do?
It's like nobody else has learned. To me, Jan did what I've been yelling at everybody else to do: take Izzy down. Now,
Yeah.
yes, he got some of the best takedown defense in MMA. Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Kelvin Gastelum was taking him down a little bit at will.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, okay. I mean, and I'm not taking the Izzy's good. Nobody ain't saying that. We're just talking more.
striking. That man's on next level.
Exactly. He's good.
He's
really
he's
good.
boss level. when it
Yes,
comes
he
to
is
that.
boss level. So when Jan fought him, I was like, okay, I want to see more of can Izzy withstand a true wrestler? Jan is not even a true wrestler.
He's
He was just
strong.
able to take him down because he's stronger than him. I think in the next matchup, Robert Whitaker is going to utilize that. Now, he is fighting Marvin Vettori. Now, I don't think Marvin Vettori, I just don't think he can do it. I honestly don't.
You don't think he can get the job done?
He might try to take him down, but I don't.
I think if he takes him down, he can't hold him down. And I don't think he can. I don't the energy to get someone down, hold them down, and do that for 5 rounds. I don't even know. I couldn't even begin to start that cardio session.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And you come from wrestling and Division I football,
yeah.
and you're doing it.
Yeah. See,
You want to do that 5 rounds?
Gosh. Let me tell you, so these 3 rounds, y'all.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Man. But I'm gonna tell you this now. When you look at that, you look at like beasts. Who does do that within their fights? Okay, Habib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
That brother there. I don't even know if he's human. I really don't think he's human. Like, this man is able to wrestle. See, when you talk about wrestling and how it affects like how people watch it.
Yes.
Now, yes, you have some MMA fights. I remember the first big event that they had. It was actually after the Gaethje and Ferguson. Everybody was like, man. Usman, Masvidal steps in on 6 days. This about to be a big time event. Literally, all my friends that don't even watch MMA, it's like, oh, I'm watching this card. This about to be good. Masvidal, and he stomps him and takes him down and lay on him. And everybody was like, man, that's boring. I don't ever want to watch. That's why nobody likes the UFC. I'm like, dude, hold up. Y'all just don't know. Obviously, it looks like anytime there's a big time event like this, y'all get a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that does happen. But wrestling is a big part of MMA. Now, obviously, is it the most entertaining? Obviously not. But what Usman did to Masvidal, you have to think about this. I have been training for another guy for 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You step in, 6 days notice. You think I'm about to go in here and have a striking battle with a guy that I just, out of 6 days, they just stepped into 6 days. Yeah, obviously, now you be like, okay, Usman's in a better shape. Obviously, Usman in shape because he's been training in training camp for 8 weeks. But it's all about game plans. I'm not about to, like, for instance, let's say if I'm fighting a striker and a wrestler steps in on 6 days notice. Okay, I'm not about to go in here and say, okay, I'm about to just still strike the wrestler.
Yeah.
No, I got to have my wrestling on guard now because he's about to take me down.
Yeah.
It's the game plan into who you're fighting. Not just because, and Usman played it smart.
Yep.
And after Usman, like, okay, I'll fight him a second time to prove that I am the better fighter. And that's what you saw. He knocked him out.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And I love some Masvidal, but
oh gosh, that knockout was nasty.
And what's so cool is Masvidal gets up and goes, "Hey man, I don't like that guy, but I like that technique.
Yeah.
Respect.
You
can't. That's how you lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you lose.
100%. You lose. And actually, like Scarborough, he was like, when I fought him, he was like, man, I was not expecting you to take me down like that.
Yeah.
He's like that, I worked on my wrestling, but not to like your strength, your power. And I was like, I was telling him, I've been doing this all my life.
Yeah, you've got fast twitch that those guys can't even train at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the things that you can't. Everybody works on a normal double leg. And I'm like, yeah, but when you're training for me, a normal double leg isn't what's going to help. I'm a blast double guy. I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah.
So when I blast double, not only do I blast double, I'm able to lift you and like turn your body into where I'm in side control.
Yeah. So you're going head to chest, going up through them, and you're already in side patrol when you get on the ground.
Exactly. And that's
very DC-like.
Very DC-like, yeah. Guys, I watch.
Doesn't have a single leg, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah.
And it makes me mad. Like, dude, go to a high crotch. Like, utilize these wrestling moves. But
yeah, you're an Olympic wrestler, bro. Use some of it. And he barely does. I know. He frustrates me. I love him. He frustrates me, man.
It makes me wonder, like Gaethje, you're an all-American wrestler. Like, why won't you use this stuff? Yeah. He wants to go in there and bang it and swing and bang with guys. Right. Now, obviously, we saw, like, Habib, like, that's the thing with Habib. Habib doesn't care. Yeah. Habib, you saw that, obviously, he doesn't care about fame or money, but, like, he's like, I'm going to go in and do my game plan. And that's how I want to be. Like, and I'm not saying I don't have, like, an established game yet. Mm-hmm. I do have a game, but I want to get, like, basically get all the techniques down on it and, like, perfect it. Yeah. And Habib does that. Anybody he fights, he doesn't have a game plan for them. He is like, I'm going in to do what I always do. Mm-hmm. Rather than some fighters, yes, you got to fight by game plan. I can't allow you to do this. I can't allow you to do this. Habib goes into the fight. I don't care what you do. I'm going to take you down. Yep. I'm going to beat you up, and I'm going to submit you. Yep. And you can't do nothing about it. Mm-mm. That's how I want to get my game plan. Yep. That's how I want to fight guys. They were like, okay, Finney, you got to fight this guy? Okay. I'll look at film. I'm a big film watcher. Love watching
football.
Film. Yeah,
football, yeah, it's all those Tom Arth meetings, man. You know all about
it. Exactly. Oh man,
you're watching film on something you didn't want to watch. Now you can watch something you really want to watch.
Yep. Exactly. So I'm sitting there watching film. Well, okay, he does this, this, and this. All right, bet I'm done. Bye. Don't need to watch anymore. Only reason why, because I'm like, now I'm just going to establish my game plan. But right now, I watch film like, oh my God, every day. I take away every technique. I'm like, I understand like how he starts a fight.
Right.
Like a lot of guys don't understand. Like when I watch film, I watch how he starts the fight. I watch how he end the fight. I watch his cardio. I watch which rounds he burst in. I watch all that stuff because I'm gonna try to take that away from you. And that's how I used to do in wrestling. I was like that as a wrestler. That's how I beat Aaron Gallagher. He beat me the week before, and I've seen all the guys he wrestled. His number one move was that low sag.
Okay.
He had a low sag single, phenomenal. Get anybody with it. Probably will still get me with it now.
Yeah.
He's that good at it. But what I saw was anytime somebody had their lead foot forward, basically foot to foot with his, that is when he would go for it. So we baited him. We baited him in the state championship to do it. He went for it, and I caught him with a chin drop.
Let's go.
On his back. And that's when I put him on his back. That at least helped us get the overtime. And I took him down in overtime. But that's like come from film watching.
Yeah.
And I do that now. Same thing. And I told Scarborough, me and him have already talked a little bit, after the fight. Yeah. He's like, man, your timing was so good. I said, because Scarborough, I saw everything that you could do. I told him, I said, you would only throw your jab a lot. You threw your jab a lot, and you threw your left hook a lot. You rarely threw your right hand. Anytime I seen you was getting ready to throw your right hand, you over lunge. Anytime you over lunge, I'm taking them down.
Yeah. Throw your right hand, come down. Yep.
Right down, exactly. So I throw my right and I take them down. And so it's a game plan behind it all. That's why, that fight looked so clean.
Yeah.
Obviously most people thought it would have been closer. 3 wins, 3 knock. I mean, he was good. Tristan is good. Tristan's fighting for the 185 amateur title.
Yeah.
This weekend. He's good. He's really good. But I had a game plan. I was gonna stick by it, take him down, beat him up. Win by ground and pound. So,
cool, man.
It's just, just hard work and sticking to what you do, man.
So you've got the fight coming up. It's Saturday. It's at Camp Jordan. It's in East Ridge, Tennessee. I think the doors open at 5. Is that the first fight at 5? Prelims?
Prelim starts at 4:30.
Okay.
We moved up a little bit.
Where are you at on the card?
I am the second fight on the main card, so bout 16. So
you're going on roughly... Around what time, roughly? I think
all right.
It's up until 10, so probably 8 o'clock?
I'm going to say
8:30?
8:30-ish. Yeah, 8:30.
Okay.
It depends because sometimes you have those intermissions and back and forth. Oh, I know why you're trying to get back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, not for that. I'm going to be in Birmingham. I got to go somewhere, but then I'm trying to get back up here so my girl works night shifts, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or whatever. So and the kid's out of town this weekend, so I'm trying to go to the fights. So I was gonna grab Dad and take him down there to watch you fight.
Oh man, he would enjoy it.
Oh yeah, because there's a boxing fight coming up at the end of the month. My buddy Joseph Francisco. So he's fighting. There's a pro boxing match at the Pavilion.
Southpaw's promotion.
4611 South or whatever it is.
I think I know.
4611 Promotions is this one.
Okay, 4611. Okay.
Yeah, but it's Joseph Francisco. Too Fast. Joseph Francisco. He's good, man. He did the Golden Gloves when he was coming up through like Lookout Valley and stuff, and got in a little bit of trouble in life. A little redemption story. He's on the comeback trail, so
that's awesome.
He took a little vacation for a little while, and now he's coming back.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good to see.
Yeah, so he's coming on the show in a couple of weeks with their promoter. So a bunch of fighting going around in Chattanooga. I'm gonna soak up all the media. That's what I'm gonna do.
Good. Hey, that's how you get out there. That's how you do it.
So what's the plan from here? You're amateur. Obviously, you want to turn pro. Obviously, you want to get your skills right before you do that. Kind of. What's your 5-year plan? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I am 100% in the UFC. I believe that right now. I do believe not too far on the horizon. The way my skills have like gotten so much better. It's gonna be so good because this upcoming fight, a lot of people are gonna see what I'm truly made of. Obviously, last fight was more of me like, okay, I'm getting this title at any way I can.
Yeah,
and that was the point. This upcoming fight, I'm going to show everyone how much better I've gotten on the feet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stand up with this guy. I am.
Okay.
I'm going to stand up with this guy a little bit. I'm going to show everybody how much better I've gotten on the feet. And depending on what opportunity it leads to, wherever it leads to within the fight, then we'll determine whether I go for a big takedown or not. Yeah. But I'm going to stand up with this guy.
So we knocking this guy out on the feet?
It's going to be a knockout.
All right.
Yes.
We knocking this guy out in the first round on the feet? We're knocking this. Listen, I'm calling the shot. These mocks over here, we're knocking this boy out first round on the feet.
All right,
All
you're
right,
here
and
now.
I'm gonna be there, and you're gonna hear me. You're gonna
All
hear
right,
me.
not first round on the feet, then, baby.
First round on the feet.
So I'm excited how I'm ready to start this fight out fast. I start fast. That's how I've done all my fights. That's how I used to wrestle. Start fast. I was always score first.
Yeah.
You score first, set the tone.
Yep.
And I like to set the tone in fights. And if I can set the tone, it's gonna be at my pace.
Yep.
Fight your fight. That's why our coach always preach. Fight your fight.
Right.
You don't fight no one else's. You fight your fight. You stick to your pace. You stick to your tone, and wherever the fight you want it to be, you take it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing in this one. Kevin Menard, he's undefeated. He won his first fight by a guillotine choke. Got some jiu-jitsu, some decent boxing. So it's going to be pretty interesting standing up with a boxer. So that's not going to be bad. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to show
I'm excited
off.
for you.
I'm excited to show off what I've been doing. And like I said yesterday, I'm ready to prove why I'm champion.
Yeah.
So
That's great, man. Another thing before we got Ethan's telling me to wrap it up, but I can't. So obviously, you look great. You're in phenomenal shape. And you said the whole Herschel Walker, the push-up stuff, that's obviously not doing the job. Okay, I know some push-ups. So what is going into your training for MMA that's different than football?
all right. So I'm with this sponsorship. They sponsorship me. There's a guy. He also works out, trains with. His name is John Hampton.
Okay.
His brother Gannon Hampton. He started this business called Peak Kinetic Performance (PKP).
Okay.
So with PKP, they are training the fighters through an 8-week fighting camp.
Mm-hmm.
So he has this app, and he's created his own app. And so throughout this app, it has all of our workouts, what we eat, what we train, and what we do. So
Okay.
it does it by our schedule we have for at the gym at Agogi.
Yeah.
So when we do this, like with me, I do a lot of like plyometric stuff, calisthenics, power clean, Zercher squats.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, every man got to do a bench. So
Yeah.
that's everybody.
Right. That's just because you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it, man. Pull-ups, deadlifts, lots of deadlifts on the Paradigm bike. A lot of big time cardio stuff. My cardio's got so much better.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm able to go rounds. Like when I first got into this, 2 rounds. Hey, see you later.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
But now we have 10 round Tuesday, and I'm still going. I'm still moving my head. I'm still moving around.
Right.
Body still flowing as if I was in the 5th round, in the 10th round.
Yeah.
And moving like that, feeling good. This PKP has really helped me get in the shape I've gotten in. Like right now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, how much you weigh?" You look like you about 220. Dude. I'm like, "No, I only weigh 205."
Yeah.
I walk around like 210.
Yeah.
I don't really cut much when I get to it. I don't really cut much, and plus, I feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
Like I feel comfortable. I'm strong. I can move. I just posted a video a few days ago, me power cleaning 335.
Yeah.
I hadn't done that since college football, but
Right.
I just power cleaned 335, and I'm like, okay, I'm still feeling good. I'm feeling strong. So, the workouts have been really good. Staying with them. I work out every day. Actually coming here from a workout. So
Good.
that's all I'm doing right now. I did a hard session of pads yesterday. Did 3 rounds on the bag, 3 rounds in pads. So 6 full rounds back to back to back. And then I did some weightlifting today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's is weigh-in. So
Now, are you going and doing weightlifting on your own?
PKP have something, but like today it was more of like a rest day.
Gotcha.
So I do.
Just get in there and do something.
Yeah, I have to do something.
Bench, curls,
Bench,
tricep,
curls,
just
tricep,
mad,
yeah.
man. I got you.
You got to look good for the weigh-in picture.
I feel you. Now, another thing I'm very interested in is talk to me about the weight. I know you don't weight cut, but
Not
if
now.
you were to, have you had to experience that with wrestling yet?
Yes, I have. My sophomore year, I had to cut from 182 to 170. So it's 12 pounds. The way I did it, I don't know if it's going to work now because getting to 185 is a long way.
Oh, yeah.
But what I did, I ate tuna, chicken salad, and, dude, I will only eat like 2 meals a day
Yeah.
of that, either that, and use the bathroom a lot,
Yeah.
poop a lot, and
Right.
sleep.
Yeah.
And
work out and train.
work out and train
And run.
and run. There you go. Like to me, I'm like, if you occupy your time rather than eating, it's probably easier to cut weight. Like with me, when I cut from bro, heck, that wasn't even a cut. But
Yeah.
when I was getting ready for Scarborough, cut from 212 to 205.
Yeah.
That was a drop in the bucket.
Right.
You know, that was nothing.
Don't eat for a day.
Yeah, don't eat for it. Exactly. So, I mean, the cutting really hasn't been hard for me. I'm going to really, as my coach has been saying, we're going to see what we do in a few. It's actually going to happen in a few months. Not long. It's not long from here, but eventually I'm going to take one amateur fight at 85.
Okay.
Let's get the cut when it don't matter.
Gotcha.
Let's get an amateur fight at 185. Get the cut. See how you feel before you turn pro, and then we can make that decision.
I was even going to recommend like just do a test cut. I know you hear a lot of
That's
guys.
Right. That's right.
They do a test cut, see how they feel. Almost have like a really hard training session the next day or whatever.
That's right.
And then kind of measure it from there. But it's, man, MMA is wild, man. The science that goes in it. Have you know about Mike Dulce?
Yes.
Dude, I love his stuff. There's another guy that's big into the weight cutting part of it. He's like involved with 8 Man Strong. There's one more guy. He was on Rogan's podcast, but he breaks down.
Daru? Is it Phil Daru?
No. I know you're talking about. But this is a white guy, big guy. Not like a fighter in shape or anything, but I can't remember his name. Anyways, he's big into it, and he brought in like the supplementation like post weigh-in, where it's like you want your electrolytes and you want your sodium and you want that stuff, but you also want caffeine and your carbs to deliver it, and caffeine is going to deliver it faster. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's what the guy said, and he's like world class. So I mean, he was working with Dulce, he was working with Rousey at the time, working with Connor and all those guys when UFC was really getting big, like in the mid 2000s or 2010s.
Well, I was the only thing I always wanted to know is like, you know, I don't know that question yet, but like when I cut, let's say when I get ready to cut to 85, I really want to know how much weight will I gain back without necessarily being like bloated or full. Like if I cut 85, I want to at least be 92, 93 fight day.
So I think you heavier than that.
You think
with
so?
the mass that you carry around. You got to think you have so much water that you can pull out of your muscles that you don't even think about.
That is true.
So like Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero and I'm trying to think of other just
Robert
bodied
Johnson,
up.
well, he's at 205.
Yeah, but yeah, when he was at 185 though, I mean those guys are probably stepping back. I think Yoel and Paulo are the worst at stepping back on the scale, almost like 15% higher than what they weighed in at. So, I mean, they're stepping back on the scale at 210, 214, 218. And that's like, I think in some states, that'll flag you.
They will.
Yeah, for
one championship.
Yeah,
they will do that. You're not.
Well, they're doing the water cut or the scientific water cut now. So I think that's smart, but then it takes away from the guys that want to like bust their ass and drop a couple weight classes to go be a champion. You know, that's like Connor.
Yeah, I mean, Connor probably would have made it make 45 like that in one. You think about that, you're right.
Yeah,
because he was looking real slim, man.
Yeah, at 145, he looked almost like he's about to die.
Yes, it's like a skeleton, man.
And who was when Dillashaw went down and fought 125? That man looked dead walking to the ring.
Bro, it makes you wonder. You're like, man, are these guys okay?
I mean, and he was on drug, like he was on EPO, everything. So I don't know about that, but yeah, man, I'm excited for you. I love it. I love the sport. I love watching it. Every Saturday, I can't wait to watch it. And I'm gonna try can't promise 100%, but I am gonna try my best to be there this Saturday.
No problem.
Absolutely. And I'd love to see you after the fight. You know, if I can grab you after the fight, that'd be sweet. I want to keep following your career. If you're going to be here in Chattanooga training, is this where you're going to be based out of for the most part?
This is where I'm based out of.
Let's get together, man. Let's train.
Let's do it.
Let's go work out.
Let's do it.
I'd love to get punched in the face a little bit.
Hey, come on to a Gogi. I'm honestly like, we are a really good gym. You come do some jiu-jitsu with us, striking. Like we're really like, we work hard now.
Yeah.
But we got some really laid back guys.
Yeah.
Like you come in there, you want to spar? All right, let's do some light sparring. You know, I'll touch you here in the face. You ain't gonna go hard.
Right.
Jiu-jitsu, they'll roll with you. Like everybody help you out, man. It's a phenomenal gym. Heck, one of my former wrestling teammates, Connor Tolley, he was the heavyweight wrestler at UTC. He's now at a Gogi with us now. So you could see. He say he don't want to fight, but that's what they all say once they get in there.
That's why I've stayed away, man. That's my biggest problem because like if this would have been as big as it is when I was coming out of college, I would have done this instead of pro wrestling because I control my destiny. If I suck, I suck. If I get knocked out, I get knocked out. Not if I say the wrong thing to somebody they don't want me to come to their show because I look like a wrestler, you know, like, because like when you said it, these guys don't want to fight you. There's guys that don't want to wrestle me on a local area like around here at some of these shit shows because most guys don't look like wrestlers.
They don't.
There's 1 or 3 guys maybe on a show that come out and look like they should be on TV. And when you look like one of those guys, it hurts people's feelings.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
you see, I've seen sometimes these independent pro wrestling shows, big guys, guts, not in shape, look like they just got done working at the mall or something.
And they did.
Hey, you're right.
And
and
they did.
you sit here like, okay. And that's the thing, like, you know, when some people get at WWE, okay, how can let's be honest, if you're trying to get this realization out to the fans, how can I believe this guy look like slop could beat a guy your size? That's not realistic. Obviously, you're going to dominate him. Obviously, you're going to beat him up. It's hard for me to get him to beat you, or you put him over.
Right.
Like, that's not.
That's an athlete talking. You're an athlete talking. That's our mindset. Now go to the mindset of the person that was never anything in their life ever in general. They want that person that looks like they're nothing to beat that guy that they always wanted to be. And there's more of those people out there than there is hardworking guys like us.
That's right.
That's just the truth. And
it
is what it is. And that's where the hating comes from. And unless you break into that next level of like stardom, you just hate them. People just hate on you about it.
People hate you for that. Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. I'm going to keep doing it. I just turned 30 this year, so you're a little bit behind me. But dude, like
22.
I've seen some of my former teammates. I hope you're not listening. I'm sure you are. But like they're out of shape, man.
Yeah.
And it happens quick.
You see some guys like that, man. I look at that a lot. Some of my high school friends, some guys I've already left college with. You're like, dude, we ain't been gone that long.
I know.
And like guys get done with college, they no longer want to work out. I'm like now this is just me talking, bro. If I miss like 2 days straight of without working out,
nope.
Oh man, where's a gym at right now? You can just give me a brick and I'm about to lift it. Like I need to lift something. That's why I do my push-ups every night. Yeah. Because sometimes my body feels really sore and I can't lift. You know, I'm like, okay, I just got done hard torpor training, sparring, jiu-jitsu.
Knock out some push-ups.
I'm about to knock out some push-ups. I'm about to do some sit-ups. I'm about to do I try to knock out at least 500 push-ups a day. Yeah. So I'm about to knock out these rather than not just working out, just sitting back there eating, watching TV. I can't do that. Yeah. Like my game, like I ain't gonna lie, I play video games. Yeah, so I play video games. I do. But I haven't played my game. I played my game actually 2 days ago. That was the first time I played it ever since I started this game.
What'd you play?
Call of Duty.
All right, Ethan, critique him. Is Call of Duty okay?
I mean, it's okay.
All right.
What about Fortnite? I'm a Fortnite fan.
Oh, God.
You don't like Fortnite?
I don't like him anymore.
Ah!
So Ethan is he's our video game connoisseur around
I'm
here.
just the pop culture connoisseur. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we'll do like these little segments on the show. I'll be like, all right, Ethan, I'm done talking about what I want to talk about when it comes to sports and stuff that matters. What's going on in pop culture? And then
literally nothing.
And then we'll go on an hour-long rant about how Godzilla is not as good as King Kong, you know?
Did y'all see that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right, okay. Let me start this real quick. Okay, for one, I dislike how they did King Kong because they reminded me a lot like how Marvel did Hulk. They made him a wuss. They really did. Now, Kong did have some moments, but man, come on, man. Yeah. Godzilla was putting the whipping on that Joker nearly the whole movie.
They gave him the shine at the end though. Oh, they shined him up at the end.
To be fair,
him up.
Godzilla had top billing.
Yeah,
it's his movie.
He did have top billing. But you know the next movie, have you heard this, Ethan?
I have not.
Oh. Son of Kong. Godzilla, King Kong vs. Godzilla 2, Son of Kong. Because there was a Son of Kong that came out in like 1930.
That's right.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah. Yeah, Son of Kong is the rumor for the next Godzilla vs. King Kong.
How is there a son though?
Yeah, well,
I gotta know.
You know the girl that he was doing the sign language with?
No. We can't say that.
I'm just saying, man. She's the only one who can talk to him.
Oh,
I'm just saying. It is what it is.
That's terrible.
I was sitting thinking like, okay, where's this female Kong at? Where's she at?
Unless he catches Godzilla sleeping at the bottom of the ocean.
Hey.
You never know, man.
Miss Zilla. Okay, have y'all seen Mortal Kombat?
Of course.
Oh, God, dude.
Loved it.
We actually haven't. Did
we talked about it.
Okay, yeah.
So here was my breakdown of Mortal Kombat. if you're looking for the 1994, 95, whatever Mortal Kombat where it's like straight tournament style and you want a remake, it's not your movie.
No.
Wait until the next one.
But if you want a Marvelish DC style Mortal Kombat movie, there's your story.
That's your story.
They're telling this thing like it's an actual thing, not just a video game tournament.
Video game tournament. Is that?
It's absolutely like you said.
It's a universe. It's the
a
Mortal
Marvel.
Kombat universe.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
And you know what I can't wait for? The Power Ranger universe.
Oh, that's gonna be
Dude,
lit.
So what's the news on Power Rangers?
So they're doing, I don't know if it's going to be Netflix or not, but they're picking up the series.
Okay.
And the series is going to spin off into a big movie, which is going to spin off into individual films.
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
They're going back and doing the entire thing right.
Okay.
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yep.
I kind of wish they just kept the same cast. The cast they had for what 2014 or whatever.
It wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
They were
Was
good.
not bad.
It was not
They were
bad.
fine.
They
It was
they're
very,
fine.
very good.
I was looking forward to seeing whoever they cast as Tommy in that next movie.
It would have been awesome.
I was looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I will say the thing on the Mortal Kombat. I will say a lot of people went into that movie thinking about the storyline rather than thinking about basically a nostalgia type movie.
Yes.
That movie wasn't meant for us to really so-called make sense.
No.
It was meant to,
Oh,
okay,
no.
I'm attacking all of your things that you grew up on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm attacking get over here
Yeah.
or
In a
or
modern way.
in a modern
And,
way.
and we talked about this. I mean, there were a lot of like Easter eggs in that movie that I appreciated.
Me too.
Some of them that I didn't even notice, like when Jax first goes and tries to fight Sub-Zero, on the wall there's down forward BA as graffiti. Stuff like that.
Wow. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
We,
That's pretty
we
sweet.
said it. I think Gunner said it. That movie was made for people that love Mortal Kombat.
And they're
right.
already starting it to let you know there's going to be more of these and follow along with the Easter eggs because this is going to lead into what's going to happen in the third movie.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm excited to see Shinnok and Shao Kahn.
I
mean,
like this guy.
Yep.
man, like I'm excited.
Me and him can keep
Bro,
up.
listen.
Right? I'm excited. For that.
Jacked pro wrestling nerds are awesome when it comes to talking.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
We just happen to be athletic.
We know everything. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
See, I'm coming from the opposite end, so I'll
I'm
meet
with
you.
you.
I'll meet you in the middle at some point.
And this is where we meet.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
perfect.
Yeah.
I will say I'm going to throw this out there. I'm not a big fan of the Fast and Furious series.
Oh my
See?
God. All right. In this
See?
podcast, thanks for coming on Chat with Gunner. And we will see you guys later. This was Torrez Finney's first and last episode.
You can't say stuff like that, man.
You got to check
No,
check the room, bro.
I got to
Torres, what's your thoughts on The Rock?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I am one of the big. Look, have you even heard me talk on the mic in MMA?
So I can't say. Here's what I know that you're good. Here's the thing. I couldn't get the audio. I just saw your mouth moving and your head movement. You're
Okay.
fired up and passionate about whatever you were saying, but I couldn't hear it.
Okay, so I am more of a. I like The Rock. His promos are, without a doubt, probably the best to me. Only person I think that could come close is like a Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, probably. I mean, Stone Cold's up there too. I mean, when The Rock speaks, everyone's listening.
He's boss level when it
He's-
comes to speaking.
He is boss level. So when The Rock plays in movies, all right, it's different. Because The Rock is basically utilizing his same character. See, The Rock is the same character he is in Tooth Fairy, is the same character he is in Fast and Furious. This man has the eyebrow raising, action-packed guy, and it don't make sense. Like the movie when he had the amputee leg. The man was Skyscraper.
Yep.
The man is performing incredible stunts that are not realistic at all. At first, Fast and Furious were based off some type of realism.
Yes.
Now you have The Rock and Hobbs and Shaw taking a chain, swinging it around, throwing it on a helicopter, and holding a truck and a helicopter together while throwing it back in the rotor, and it's like nothing ain't happened. Like he makes his movies like beyond wild.
Yes.
Can you when it first started happening? Okay, could you watch it? Yes. Now I'm not gonna lie, they're starting to get old. Like
You're not wrong.
it's starting to get a little old now.
You're not. So he is our Arnold and Sylvester Stallone,
Yes, he
which
is.
they did the same thing.
Yeah,
Pretty
No,
much.
You make a point.
Yeah, so he's our Arnold and Sylvester. Now, as they got older, they became actors. I think more so Sylvester than Arnold. He became more of a
Governor.
yeah, and then he just came back and became the Terminator again.
Yeah.
Terminator.
But yeah, I think Sylvester became more of an actor. I think we'll see that with The Rock, but not until that body goes away. And with science and medicine, I don't see that body going away anytime soon.
None. He's gonna be like that till 50.
Dude, he's 50.
Oh,
He's
that's right.
already
He did
50.
just turned 50.
Dude.
Well, he's 49 or 50. He's right there,
Oh man,
dude. He's gonna. What's The Rock look like when he's 60? The same.
the same.
What when he's 70? The same. I mean, where's the drop off? Most people get a few wrinkles. You know, they get a little older. The muscles go down.
What's the rock evolution? Mediterranean sedentary. What's the rest of them?
I don't know, but he's about to be
I
a boulder.
I can appreciate the joke.
Yeah, he's about to be a boulder. Is what he's about to be.
Yeah,
The mountain.
God.
The mountain.
Yeah,
The mountain.
Mount
literally.
Everest.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
The Rock.
Yeah, I'm a big rock. I'm a huge rock fan.
Can't
I-
beat it, man. Like when
This
he
is one of the
talk-
first times in like all of COVID that he's not wearing at least one piece.
That's not true. That's
Oh,
completely
okay.
inaccurate. 100%.
If
Well,
you
there
can
you go.
smell.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Bro, I do that after every fight.
Yeah.
I grab the mic and I'm like, talk what I'm gonna talk, whatever I'm gonna do next. I am cutting a promo after this next fight because there's been a guy out there on social media that's been trash talking me
Uh-oh.
and said he's gonna come knock me out, he's gonna come do this, and he's gonna come do that. That's the fight that's gonna be in July. But I got something for him. I'm gonna have some words for him on Saturday.
Ooh, I like
You
this
know,
already.
so
I'm
coming at-
invested.
I'm coming at his neck, but yeah, I cut promos based very similar to The Rock a little bit.
Yep.
You know, because I love The Rock, man. He's my guy, man.
Oh, he's
you look at promos. I mean, eyebrow raising, jabroni. I love one of my favorite things is when the Dudley brothers
Yeah.
and dude, when he was stuttering.
What's your name? My name is but it doesn't matter what your name is.
And then he punches him. Dude, The Rock
Oh,
is awesome, man.
dude,
Like, who
loved it.
thinks of stuff like that's just
Yeah.
what got me into wrestling, man. Like, man.
Dude, there was one. It was. I don't know if you've seen it. I'm sure, maybe you've seen it. So there was Shane McMahon in the ring with Stephanie McMahon, and it was like at the time when they were doing kind of like a WCW and ECW were invading WWE.
Oh, yeah.
So
2001, I believe.
yeah, roughly around there. So Chris Jericho and The Rock are on the stage, and they're representing WWF at the time. So they're cutting a promo on Booker T and Stephanie in the ring. And I don't know, The Rock asked Booker, you know, if he came from the short bus and all that stuff. He's like,
Yeah, I remember
you remember that one?
Yeah.
And then Chris Jericho says something about Stephanie to do like a little riddle, a little rhyme off. And then The Rock goes, "Oh, we're doing rhymes now. That's what we're doing." He's like, all right. He goes, "There's Shane McMahon, the silver spoon," or I can't remember exactly what he says, but he calls Shane McMahon a silver spoon motherfucker on live TV, and just doesn't get in trouble by anybody. Like, he's the only guy that can get away with
Yeah,
it. The only guy.
Only guy, yeah. Stone Cold could as well.
Yeah, but man, The Rock, man, he was just on a different level.
He was, man.
Different level. He still is. I mean, he's the most followed person in the world.
Yeah.
He's making the most money in the world.
I
He
mean,
does everything.
People keep talking about him coming back to fight Roman. I mean, what would you think about that matchup?
So they're doing WrestleMania Hollywood. I guess it's not next year because they're doing next year in Dallas, but I think it's the following year. I think so. Here's my idea when it comes to The Rock. The Rock is obviously one of the main figures in the Samoan dynasty. Roman also comes from that bloodline. He's in the Samoan dynasty, and they're running with the Samoan dynasty like storyline right now. He's the head of the table, right? He's got to go through more people in the Samoan dynasty or bring them around to him. Like, he needs Rikishi there. He needs the Wild Samoans there. I know they gave him the rub with the little the pedals or whatever, but he needs the Wild Samoans there. He needs everybody that is a part of the Samoan dynasty that is wrestling kind of involved with him. Like, he's beat them all, and now they all follow him. I think that's how it is. And then one day, he's beat them all. He's taken everything away from the people. And then The Rock comes out.
The Rock comes out. Ooh, I like that.
And then The Rock comes out and they wrestle it. And I think you got to book it twice. You got to wrestle it the first year. You got to have Rock win. And then let Roman get the rub back in the next one. You got to do the same thing with Cena. Because you can't just bring The Rock back and have him get beat. You can, but you can't.
Well, see, that's the thing, because that's basically what happened with Hogan and Rock.
Yeah.
Hogan was brought. Now, originally, some people was like, okay, Hogan was supposed to win the first, but then, like, as after a few talks and here and there,
Right.
Rock beat Hogan.
Yeah.
there wasn't no rematch. Now, was there like a rematch later on?
So they did. So that was when Hogan was NWO.
NWO, that's
so
right.
he was Hollywood Hogan.
Mhm.
But then they went with the gimmick with Hogan because he turned face on accident.
On accident. The crowd was on his side.
Yeah. So have you heard that story?
Yes.
So my favorite wrestling story and it's literally my favorite wrestling match because of the crowd reaction. So they're in Toronto, and the last time Hogan was in Toronto was when he fought Warrior at WrestleMania 6.
That's right.
So he's a legend in Toronto. So nobody's heard all this trash that's happened with him at WCW, all that stuff. They just know Hogan's back and he's at WrestleMania. So, dude, The Rock's the babyface. They come out. They had this whole match planned. They already went over it the night before with like Pat Patterson and everybody. And then they come out for the match. Rock's getting booed. Hogan's getting cheered. So they look at each other across the ring, and Hogan goes, "Scratch it. Let's do this." And they switch it up mid-ring, like Rock, and he tells The Rock, "Go heel." The Rock's so good at being heel. He's a better heel than he is a babyface.
Yes,
babyface,
100%.
and Hogan's a better face than he is a heel.
Mhm.
It was perfect,
Dude.
perfect storm.
And that comes with like the experience and the knowledge. For them to able to do that mid-match,
Yeah.
I don't think other people understand how hard that is.
No.
That is that's like literally next level.
Yeah.
That's next level. Like, man, that's why my respect to them. Like,
And you got to think, man, like being in there, I've been in there with some really good guys. You know Matt Riddle? Obviously.
I've heard of him.
So Matt Riddle,
Wrestler.
yes, he came up in the UFC.
That's right, UFC. Yeah,
yeah.
he fights with his feet.
Yeah, so Matt Riddle, he came up in the UFC. He was on like a 4-fight win streak and got kicked out of the UFC for marijuana. Now you can smoke and be in the UFC. So he did the independent circuit, and me and him met in Chattanooga at the Scenic City Invitational in 2017, 2018, something like that, 2017. And that was probably one of my better matches. We had a really cool match, and then that kind of put me on the radar after that. I was like, oh, he can go with these guys. And then Riddle was already about to get signed. And then we had another match. So he beat me in the first one. And then we had another match. I beat him in that one. We were scheduling a third one, then he got signed to WWE. But I mean, now he's in a main feud with like Randy Orton, working as a tag team and doing all that.
RK Bro.
Yep. And then you got so the guy that's with Elias right now, Jackson Riker. So he was TNA Gunner when he was coming up through TNA. His real name's Chad Lell. He was roommates with the guy that trained me in wrestling. So we've had 2 Gunner versus Gunner matches when he was with TNA.
I bet that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that was really cool. So he won the first one, I won the second one, and then he goes and gets signed. So I mean, I've wrestled some really good guys, been in the ring with some really good guys, and it's fun, man. But you know, there's nothing much better than just being able to knock somebody out and just keep moving up the ranks.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. That is my advantage for that. You know?
Yeah,
I might carry a pro wrestling theme, but
show me your belt right here. By the way, get this belt up in here.
Yep.
Look at that, the champ, man.
Old belt right here, baby.
The belt is there. It looks good, man.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
We're collecting belts around here in Chattanooga.
That's right, baby. So trying to keep this with me. This is my baby. So.
That's good, man. So where can the people follow you? What do you got coming up?
You can follow me. Nearly all of my social media tags are at Punisher Torrez, at Punisher PUNISHER Torrez TOREZ, and the Punisher. That's my name. They call me the Punisher Torrez Finney, and
the skull and bones and everything.
Skull and bones and everything. That's my go-to. Is it mainly because I got it in wrestling. You know, because of the way I was taking it down, guys.
Punishing guys.
A guy, old man came up. He was like, "Man, you just out there punishing these kids." And it's like,
there it is.
Oh. So I used it as my YouTube name, and I had that my YouTube name since I was in 8th grade. When that guy told me that in 7th grade, I had every match. You can go to my YouTube. You can literally just type my name in. It's on my.
Yeah, I saw you had all your stuff on there.
It's called The Punisher Versus. The Punisher Versus, like literally, because that's the name and. Like the way I've been promoting my fight, I'm sold a lot of tickets. A lot of people gonna be there. It's awesome, and the Punisher returns back at home here in Chattanooga. Yeah, so you'll get a chance to see him May 15th.
Dude, I'm so happy for you. I love that you're living out your dream. As a guy that was decided a little bit of a different career path when he came out of college as well at Chattanooga, I can understand how people. Want you to do something else, tell you to, and maybe you shouldn't try that. Oh, you didn't get picked at the tryout. Maybe you should go do something else. Go get a real job. Those type things. There's a bunch of dream crushers. A lot of those people come from family. A lot of those people come from your closest friends. Those are the ones that you think that would believe in you, but they don't.
It is. It is the ones that sometimes you believe, like, okay, you've been by my side, all my life. And like, or more like your friends, you hear people tell you, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that.
Do it, man.
Well, man, and if I tell people all the time, sometimes I don't listen in the best way, but there's sometimes I don't listen in a good way. If I've always listened to people that told me, Finney, you shouldn't do this,
right, then
I probably wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't be champion, and I probably wouldn't be doing MMA.
I got you.
So it tells me a lot of things that, like, don't listen to what people say. And then, like I said, these little small victories that I do is coming for a bigger plan. And that's why I build myself up like, okay, you tell me I can't do something, prove you wrong.
Yep.
And that's why that type of stuff motivate me. I'll hopefully anybody I fight looks at this, but you tell me that you're going to knock me out, I'm not on your level, I'm not that good, okay. That you just gave me extra motivation. Yeah. I already work hard now. Yeah. Now when you put a purpose behind it, man, I'm coming at your neck. Yeah.
I love it.
At your neck.
I love it. So, man, Torrez, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Go check him out this weekend. I know I'm going to do my best to be there. I can't wait. I mean, Camp Jordan, that's home for me. So I can't wait to get there. And they've just built it up so nice around there these days. They got the Chick-fil-A, the Starbucks.
Jonathan's.
Got the Top Golf. They got all that stuff over there now. So it's easy to find Camp Jordan, not like it used to be back in the 90s. So get out there to Camp Jordan. Support your local mocks, support your local athletes, support your local dream chasers. Don't be a hater. Support these guys with dreams, and I'm going to do my best to do that. I'll get you. Listen, anytime you got a fight, you hit me up. You're on the show.
All right, bet. Let's do it.
Anytime you got something to say to somebody, you hit me up. You're on the show.
We probably need to start doing that.
All right. Yeah, you want to talk wrestling? You want to watch some WrestleMania? You want to go punch me in the face? Hit me up, man. I'm going to get your number when we get out of here. I think that, I think you're a great guy, man. I like to surround myself with great people. So, follow us on Apple, iTunes, the podcast. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, do all the things. But most importantly, share this, watch this, and get this out, and go watch this fight on Saturday. We will see you guys next week. Maybe Ethan is out of town. We were going to do another show tonight and put it out tomorrow, but that may or may not happen depending on which episode picks up after this. But this one we did what, 2 hours? Yeah, so we got plenty of footage for you right here. We might just throw up, a teaser or something next week for the next show. The following week, we have Joseph Francisco and 4611 Promotions coming in for the pro boxing match in town, which is going to be at the Tennessee Pavilion. And the following week, we have IFBB Pro, hopefully, Darren Johnson coming in. He's going to do the North American Championships for bodybuilding, I believe in like October or September. So I want to give him some good luck. He's coming off a bad surgery, so he's in great shape. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Torrez, thanks for coming on, man.
You too.
Appreciate it.